What's up, everybody? So today we're back in the garage. We got a few more updates I want to do on the blast cabinet. As you guys saw in the last video, we went through, we added a light, a dust separator, we got it all sealed up, and we also made it mobile. We got a cart built for it, and that all works great. Unfortunately, we ran into one little issue where it kept surging and not working very good. So I had a bunch of you guys reach out, suggest to me that we should do like a gravity feed or a metering valve type of thing. So I went through, I got a bunch of stuff that we're gonna go through and make a metering valve for this, as well as got a new gun for it. So let's go ahead and show you guys what we got and get to upgrading this thing. As you guys can see here, this is everything I ended up picking up in order to do our metering valve or gravity feed setup on the blast cabinet. So this is just something that I found online. Seems like most people go with this method. This is kind of the DIY setup. There is ones you can buy online, but I kind of like this one here. It's a little bit cheaper. Just go to the hardware store, get it. Don't have to wait for shipping or anything. I went to my local Menards. They had everything here in stock. So basically what you do is you take your little door off like you guys just saw there, drain all the media and stuff that's out of there. We'll have to find center and we'll have to drill a hole in this. I got one and an eighth inch hole saw here, so that'll be the hole that goes here, and then we'll have to put that flange, which is here, inside of this piece here. Get a couple nuts and bolts to thread inside there, obviously drill the holes to accept it. We may have to do a little bit of trimming because you guys can see here it is just slightly too big for this, but we'll trim that down so it fits there. So once that's set up, we can go through and go from this 1-inch flange into this sleeve here. Now this is a 1-inch sleeve as well. It's about 3 inches long. That'll go down into this T. Now this T is a 1 3/4 inch, and then it drops down into this plug here. So this plug is basically, we'll just undo this to drain the media out of the system. But from there, it'll go from the 3/4 inch to a 3/4 inch sleeve to connect that 3/4 inch to this T here. So this T is a 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch, and a 1/2 inch. Then we've got the 1/2 inch here, which will be a reducer that drops down to a 1/4 inch. Then we've got our 1/4 inch brass fitting here, which goes into our 1/4 inch ball valve. So that'll be the part that meters the airflow through the system. And then from there, we've got this here at the end, which is just kind of a barbed fitting there for the line that I have here. So that is a 3/4 inch to a 1/2 inch diameter barbed fitting there to run this hose here. So this hose here is internal diameter of 1/2 inch, outside diameter of 3/4 inch. So that'll run up into the blast cabinet, and then I picked up this here. So this is a little rubber grommet. We'll have to drill a hole on the side of the sand blasting cabinet to keep it so that this hose is sealed off. Now this is a internal diameter of 3/4 inch, and then I believe the outside diameter is 1 inch. So we'll be able to utilize, I think it's this one here, to just my inch hole saw there to drill inside the drill on the side of the cabinet, so that'll go in there, and then this will feed in there. So like I said, this is the setup. This is the stuff I've seen online as far as people recommending as far as doing your own setup. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this, get our metering valve set up, and then we'll move on to the gun setup. As you can see there, the metering valve is all built and put together. looks awesome, came together relatively easily. I threw on a little bit of Teflon tape here where the threads come together. That way it just seals it up a little bit nicer in case it does have any leaks of any kind, but I don't think it will. You guys can see there the ball valve is setting on there, so that should regulate the air that pulls through there so it can keep the media coming. But the only thing I did change was this top here. Originally I was just going to put this on the inside here. That would be a flush fit, but the 1 1/8" hole saw that I used was the same diameter of this versus the inside hole there. This outer lip here is slightly bigger, so in order to have that protrude down, I would have had to get a slightly bigger hole saw. So I decided to do a different method. I used the rib nuts that we used on the glass in the previous video. So I just drilled out my holes for the M6 bolts here and the M6 rib nuts and threaded them in there. So now they are all good to go. We do have a slight gap there, so I'll just go through with a little bit of silicone here and just kind of fill that in. That way it fully seals it up on the inside there. So yeah, overall not too bad. And if I do decide to change this out, obviously I can go through and unscrew those there and figure out a different solution. But yeah, looks to be pretty good. We'll get a little silicone on there and then we'll go over here to the blast cabinet and get it installed. As you guys can see here, our metering valve is all assembled and in place. So now this is all good to go. You guys can see there how all our fittings are lined up. So all it's left to do now is to put our rubber hose that attaches to here, snake it up, and we'll probably drill a hole somewhere in this area here, that inch size hole for this hose to fit through. And then we've got that rubber grommet that'll utilize for that. So yeah, we'll get that hole drilled now, and then this will be complete. So there it is. Metering valve is now complete. We got our hose all on there. We can push whatever length we need on this one. I don't know how far we want it to go inside. I can cut it down obviously because we do have quite a bit of hose here, but that is completed. So next up, let's go ahead do the gun upgrade next. As for the gun upgrade, I ended up picking up this Eastwood gun here. You guys can see there, it doesn't have a trigger or anything. It is all gonna be pedal driven. So you can see there, it's got the little foot pedal assembly there. So this will sit on the ground and then you just have this blast on the inside. So I think that'll be a much nicer setup, especially if we're doing something bigger that's gonna be more time consuming to strip. So we'll get this thing set up over there in the blast cabinet. The one upgrade I'm gonna do to this is take off this 1/4 inch NPT fitting, and I'm going to put a regulator. You guys can see here this regulator as well as this water separator. There is better ones to get out there. This is the only one that I had right now. It's just an inline separator, so we'll utilize that on this end here, and then that little NPT fitting will go on this side of the regulator there so that we can have our air line connect off of there. So basically this whole setup here will go away. We'll still utilize this hole because it's a 90-degree fitting that they have there. So still utilize that hole and it'll just replace that gun and that hose there. So there it is. The gun is all set up now. We got our hose connected here, running all the way down, and then going into that side cavity over there. So now we should be able to go ahead and fill this thing back up with the media and put it to the test. So first test here is done. As you guys just saw there, we made quick work of this piece here. Nice and clean, ready to be painted. Looks fantastic. That went really, really smoothly. I didn't have any surging issues whatsoever. I guess I shouldn't say that because I did have a little bit, but I had to kind of play around with the ball valve itself just to allow the airflow to go through here. And what I found is just kind of the happy medium is right there in the middle, because otherwise you have it full open or closed. Closed, obviously, you won't do anything. About halfway, right about there, it's perfect. I didn't have any surging, any pulsating or anything, and it just seemed to pull the media straight through. Didn't have any issues with the gun clogging or nothing, so that worked fantastic. And then of course, our foot pedal setup here, having the regulator with the water separator on there, worked great. Just being able to utilize this pedal here by pressing down there and not having to squeeze the trigger constantly is a nice little improvement too. So currently, I've got my PSI set to like 90 PSI. I guess it's a little high right now. It's probably about 95. So when you step on the pedal, it drops it down to about 80. But yeah, that seemed to be really, really good on this. So I will say our setup here now is great. So with that being said, I think we're gonna go ahead and end up the video here. So if you guys like this video, make sure to make thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. We have plenty more stuff coming for garage updates as well as getting back on the cars. So stay tuned for that. And if you guys are interested in anything I use in today's video, I'll be sure to have it all linked in the description below. So I'll see you guys in the next one.